Okay, it's getting close to the end of the semester and you should be working on your projects like crazy. Here in supply chain management, we want to go through the product development process that you've already begun, but we'll go through some things and see how it applies to you. We're a manufacturing operation, coming up with new products and stuff like that. And how can we do it? And that's the question, is it worth it? Okay, so in our product development we have, it looks like 5 phases, and our first one is concept development phase. Most of you have been through this phase. We identify new product ideas or revisions, and we brainstorm. If it was a company, we brainstorm hopefully with the employees, people around the building, even do some market research to see what's going on out there, see if we're still relevant. Maybe we need to update our product. And also, and thinking about this, we're in a certain business, we have a certain mission statement, so we're focused on a certain realm of products. So it's not just any products like it is with your project. But we come up with some different concepts, maybe 3 or 4, maybe 40 concepts that look promising. So then we have, might pick some of the good ones, and then send them through a more detailed product analysis, where they call it number 2, the planning phase. Is or are the concepts feasible? Do they make sense? So we'll look at it. We'll pick an idea, and you're doing this too. Maybe bounce it off of some potential customers. Do they like the product? You have a product. Have you bounced it off of potential customers? Now, do they like it, and can they make suggestions on maybe something that they would prefer? Maybe that's something that's more presentable. We don't really just want to rely on family members because they'll lie to us, unless they really care about us, and send us down the wrong path. They say, oh yes, I love your little product. So this from marketing is what we call the marketing concept, where we actually include the customer. Before we make the product, we include the customer, get their feedback on things. So if that passes, then we might look at engineering, which is you, identifying general performance characteristics. We've got a product concept. Now we're trying to get more focused on what exactly the product is about. And we begin to think about the processes needed and different ways that we could make the product. Now, I hope you've been through this, because there's not just always one way to make a product, different ways. And you start to think about the processes that are required to make the final product, and some might work out well, some need revision. We look to our marketing, which is you, marketing department, you're everything, and estimate sales volume, and maybe study the competition, what's going on out there. Is it a cluttered market? Is it going to be hard to get a lot of sales? We start looking at that. Maybe we think about the realm of how many grocery stores we want to be in, or how many hardware stores, or whatever stores, and start to think about sales volume. We won't get too much into the marketing side of it, but does your product last forever? Is it a candle holder? How many candle holders does somebody need? At what point will they lose their candle holder and want another one? Or if it's sauce or some kind of food, will it last just seconds? Or will it last, like with hot sauce, it might last 3 weeks? How many people are in the market? How many like hot sauce and all that stuff? So then we look, and you're supposed to be here right now. I know certain groups are working on it, working on our cost, seeing if we can have a profit margin, which will so, you know, put us in here where we're trying to start to put a price on things. And you're already doing this, I hope, thinking about suppliers. Now, the question is, this is our planning phase. We've made a plan, a basic plan for a product concept, product idea. Now, some of you are getting nervous. Some of you are excited. Some of you were excited about your product 15 minutes ago and now you're depressed. But then we maybe changed some things and now we're excited again. So it is peaks, peaks, peaks and valleys, peaks and valleys. Question is, do you have an eagle or do you have a big old gobbler, a turkey? So start to think about this. One day you're confident, you got an eagle, and the next day you're going, oh man, this ain't gonna work. We tried out our process and it's not working out. So you go through that, try to fix some things. Now, if the product succeeds through this step, then we would go to the design and development phase. Start actually making some prototypes, getting the jars, getting the, making it. We'll go to our test kitchen, try it out. Did it work? Did the recipe work? Go to our focus groups, and maybe we have a few versions and still a few prototypes of our product, and go to the focus group and see what they have to say about it. We also need detailed process maps for the product. You've done process maps. What processes are involved, what are the times, what is the cycle time to complete a product, and with our precedent map, with the activity A, it's kind of the same for both the product and the startup, but we start mapping out what the startup would entail. Now, is it still gonna make it? Maybe we have our activities to get started up require a lot of equipment that we can't afford. Oh boy. So then, if we do make it through here, boy, that's an obstacle, right? A lot of people don't even make it. They get scared. And maybe they should be scared because they have a turkey. But they don't make it through here. So if you can make it through here, and then go for the big one, the commercialization phase. Wow, if you could do that, you've left half the people, more than half, way more than half of the people in the dust. We just hope we're on the right track. So we're going to have our commercialization phase. We're no longer dealing with little pots and we're going to have an operation. It's going to cost some money. Going to need some equipment. Suppliers for raw materials need to be lined up. Might even need a warehouse, hopefully not. A factory, a space to make the stuff. Start looking at getting personnel or employees that are going to do the job and help us become successful. Then, boy, that's a long way, isn't it? Long way from here to here. Then we have the launch phase, where we're going to actually get the product into the stores. It might not be possible to get into all the stores at once, but we're going to fill up the pipeline. Now, at this launch stage, it could be huge. The numbers could be huge. If you have 100 stores out there and they all need a case, then we need 100 cases, right? For those of you out in the world, we're a small population. We fill up the supply chain. We fill up the distributor, or we're the distributor, and we get into all the grocery stores, and then we go, wow, we sold a lot of stuff, and then we sit back and go, oh, next week we don't have to do this because we were filling the pipeline. Not all of that stuff is going to sell at one time. Now, during this time, we need to be monitoring our quality, our processes. Where are our processes? Are our processes consistent? Are we getting consistent quality? The quality we were hoping for? Is everything working? If it's not, we might need to adjust our system to get a better result. Now, for marketing, I have this little concept called the RWW, where we ask the question, and it's very similar to this. Is it real? Ask yourself, is your product real? Is there a real need for the product. Maybe the baby isn't as cute as we thought it was. Is it real? Do the people want it? Can we win? When we look at how we go through it, we got a great idea, but we just can't produce it. It's not, can we win? Can we make it? Can we make this stuff? And is it worth it? I know of one group who I met with, came in and boy, they were looking at their costs of the product and looking at the competition, the leading competitor in the industry and their prices, their cost for the product. Wow, big compared to the competition. And how are we going to compete? Will we turn a profit? Is it possible that we can compete and turn a profit? If we can answer yes, it is real. Can we win? Yes, we can win. We can do this. And is it worth it? Then maybe you should go for it. If you answer no to any of those, it might not be worth it. So now we have the concept of concurrent engineering. If you look at this, well, I'm going to include the customer anyway. Probably a little stretch. We have engineering, people that design processes and things like that. We have the marketing department. We also might add in accounting/finance. We might add HRM, which is human resource management. The term concurrent engineering says we involve as many people as possible early in the process. Why? Well, the owner or the CEO might have a great idea and tell engineering to start working on it. So engineering spends all this time doing this, building the process and all, and then marketing finds out that nobody wants this. Or you as the owner might be the marketer and say, hey, we can, the market wants this. We see a need for it out in the market. And then we go and find out we can't make it. Then we bring in finance and they say, well, we might be, yes, there's a need. Yes, we can do it, but the costs are out of whack. Once we get to the end, the product is too expensive. So if we involve more than, as many people as we can in the beginning of the concept development, product development phase, we can get the views of different disciplines so they can help us, see at an early point if the whole thing is feasible from all sides. So if we involve people earlier in the process, then we wouldn't have wasted all of this time. We would make fewer mistakes along the way, and we would reduce costs. So that's concurrent engineering as well. So this is what you're going through. Are you going to win? Is there a need? Is it profitable? That's the question. It's a great process to go through, and most products don't make it through the whole system.